go across that to a man who understands the industry as well, R.S. Sharma, the former chairman and managing director of ONGC. Mr. Sharma, I appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV 18 to discuss this crucial CAG report. Now, production sharing contracts are very complex. Most people will not understand them, but you do. Now, do you believe that the CAG, when it's pointing out issues of relinquishment of areas, when it's pointing out cost overruns and the development plans actually being approved by the government before any forward movement is made by a private contractor or private operator, and both these instances Reliance is fought tooth and nail against the kind of criticism that the CAG has made, do you believe that there is merit to what the CAG has said in its findings?
Well, first of all, Shireen, let me clarify. I had seen the draft report. I have not seen the final report. And this draft report was about the performance audit of the production sharing regime, where initially they had taken up 20 contracts and finally they picked up 4 representative contracts, and where they had taken Panna Mukta and Tapti, which were the discovered fields given for this production. Then they took one pre-NELP block, that is this Badmer, this Rajasthan field,
the Cane
and
block,
also
that's right.
one field, this 98/3, that is NEL block. So this report is equally critical of all the areas, rather that is more critical. In fact, as per the draft report, they were highly critical about the operator for this Panna Mukta Tapti field. I don't know why the media has been only carrying out reports about the Reliance, and I find it is equally damaging for all of them. I'm using the word damaging because I feel the CAG, the whosoever has carried out the audit, they are not familiar with how do these production sharing contracts operate globally elsewhere in the world, and simply saying that such and such clauses were not favorable, not that conducive to the government's revenue has been compromised and kind of thing.
Okay.
It is not like this. You see, one has to
let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you, Mr. Sharma, and let me get you to speak point by point, clause by clause. Let's start with this whole business of cost overruns. In the draft report, the CAG had gone as far as to suggest that there was gold plating of capex, and you're right, it doesn't talk just about Reliance, it talks about Cane, it talks about the Panna Mukta Tapti fields as well. Let's talk about cost overruns, and let's also talk about the initial development plan, which the CAG says that you must stick to the initial development plan, or at least before carrying out any sort of activity, you must get the initial development plan approved by or appraised by the government, by the DGH, and it has faulted both the government as well as the DGH in performing that duty. Now, let's talk about this initial development plan and this issue of cost overruns, because that clearly runs through in all the 4 cases that you're talking about.
I wish, Shireen, they had also taken up that ONGC, that blocks, because ONGC also been doing the explorations. One has to see that in the last 4-5 years, the way the business is done, these oil prices have gone through the roof. We have seen that when this APM was dismantled, price was $18 a barrel. That was in that April 2002, and thereafter we have seen constantly moving up. Especially last 3-4 years, the way the crude prices have gone up, there's an exponential increase in exploration and production activity everywhere in the world, especially in the deep waters. So much so that ONGC was not able to hire deep water rigs for 3.5 years, and based on the global practice, at the level of the cabinet, the rig moratorium had been given. So
I get what you're saying, Mr. Sharma, but I'm just
coming to the costs. I'm now coming to the costs. Costs have also gone up exponentially. So I don't think it is giving a blatant statement that there has been a gold plating and all the costs have gone up 3 times. I don't think that is the right to say. There could have been some aberrations. I'm not privy to those things, but I would say in general, my experience in ONGC, we also witnessed the costs going up, the rig charter hire rates going up 3 times than what they were there in the year 2004 or 5.
Okay, let's now talk about this issue as far as CapEx is concerned, and this is a larger issue that the CAG talks about, and it in fact suggests or recommends to the government that this is something that should be changed about the way that the production sharing contract is actually signed between the government and operators. It says private contractors have inadequate incentives to reduce CapEx, private contractors have substantial incentives to increase CapEx. Now, in its response, Reliance had said absolutely the opposite. It said the CAG appears to believe that higher CapEx actually benefits Reliance, whereas Reliance believes that the PSC actually incentivizes Reliance to reduce CapEx where possible. Now, make sense of this for us, because you have the CAG saying that PSCs actually need to be reworked because you're incentivizing front loading of CapEx.
Look, all that to be reworked has to be done for the next the round, NELP round 10 and onwards. And I can tell you right now, if you do further tweaking in these draft PSC contracts, I don't see any foreign bidder will come and invest in our country. We must realize that we are not so well endowed like elsewhere, this Russia, Venezuela. These regimes can afford to be arrogant. India cannot afford to be arrogant. In fact, our 80% of our sedimentary basins, they are either underexplored or not explored at all. We need huge amount of this risk capital.
I get what you're saying, Mr. Sharma, that we require investment in the E&P space in India, but at the same time, is there no merit in what the CAG is... No, I'm not talking about maligning the operator. I'm saying, is there no merit in what the CAG is recommending from a point of view of the government's share of profit petroleum?
Look, I must share with you, I have also been dealing with CAG institution for the decades. We have huge respect for the CAG as an institution, and the auditors, when they come, the draft reports have always been out and out negative, and only after, that we have these, the management discussions with the auditors, they see the replies, they see the reasoning, they have been able to dilute. I am not aware what process has gone through in these cases, whether the CAG, those who carried out audit, whether they had exposure, understanding of the global practices, whether they considered the responses given by the managements before finalizing the reports. But apparently, what I see as an industry expert and from outside the system, I feel this kind of report is going to be highly damaging for our.
You believe this report is going to be highly. You believe this report is going to be highly damaging? My final question to you.
This report is going to taint the image of India as investment destination for exploration here, which I feel is a highly negative report, yes.
Those are very, very strong words, Mr. Sharma. You believe this report will taint India's image. But my final question to you, some of the recommendations that they've actually made with respect to the production sharing contracts, saying that you need to revisit the formula and protect the government of India's share of profits, that the government oversight and control on high-value procurement is very limited, that the government oversight restricted to the representation in management committee. Do you believe that there is some merit, at least, in some of these areas that the CAG is pointing out? And perhaps we do need to make systemic changes.
These merits will hold good in regimes like Venezuela and Russia. They have changed the signed contracts. I don't see any example anywhere in the world where the signed contracts would have been changed. I don't think that is feasible. That is legally also not feasible.
So no support coming in there from R.S. Sharma for the CAG report. Mr. Sharma, appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV 18 with your thoughts on the consequences and the implications of this report. Now, following the tabling of the CAG reports on the KG D6 block, the CBI